Namaskar. This is Dr. S. Srinivas Raghavan, Professor and Head, Department of Library and Information Science, Bharatdas University. Welcome to EPG Pathsala, online repository of course materials, an initiative of University Grants Commission, Government of India, executed by the Implement Center, Ahmedabad. This module represents the paper Knowledge Organization Cataloguing Practice. In this module, we are going to discuss how the entries can be prepared for the publications brought out by the institutions, organizations according to Classified Catalog Code and Anglo-American Cataloging Rules 2. The objective of this model is to prepare cataloging entries according to the exercise given for various publications under the heading institutions or organization. In CCC, the institutions or organizations are derived in the chapter JD, the headings and the description for preparing entries of the publication brought out by the institutions. Institution, which may consist of organizations, education institutions, research establishments, autonomous organizations of national and international importance, churches, religious institutions, social institutions, and the establishments that are functioning as an autonomous unit. First, we will see how to derive cataloging entries for a given exercise according to the CCC for the publication of institutions and its organs. JD, the chapter of CCC, direct the cataloger or the librarian to get the shortest form of the title of the institution, which is found in title page, half title page, or any other part of document for entering of the institution as the name of the head in the entries. It also directs the language of the name of the institution to be entered in cataloging. If the name of the institution occurs in 2 or more languages, the name in the language occurring earliest in the scale of languages of the library is to be used for rendering. For example, if it is a local library, if the title of the institution, the name of the institution published both in English or in Tamil or in Malayalam, it has to be entered, if it is a local library, either in Tamil or in Malayalam rather than English. For an academic library, it may be entered the name of the institution in English language. It also advises that initial articles like an and all other prefix need to be avoided when we are entering the name of the organization. And the same way, honorific words such as Justice, Raw Bahadur, so these kind of titles belong to the institutions also can be avoided. And the institution should be rendered as earlier mentioned in a short title format as like Andhra University, Asiatic Society of Bengal, Cambridge Philosophical Society, Church of England, International Maritime Association. But if the honorific word is an inseparable or integral form of the name of the institution, it can be retained. For example, Royal Society of London. The publications of Royal Society of London can be entered in the name of Royal Society of London. The rule JD 14 states, JD 14, that the title of honor of a person, in rendering of the name of the institution beginning with the name of a person, carrying an initial term denoting a title of honor or distinction or profession, that initial term is to be omitted. For example, Baker Guidance Center should be rendered as Baker Guidance, not as Judge Baker Guidance Center. In the same way, Bishop Weber College should be entered as Heber College, not as Bishop Weber College. JD2 is talking about individualizing element of an organ or the institution, organ of the institution. If the bare name of an institution does not individualize it, the individualizing element to be used for resolving the homonym is to be termed denoting its either place, if it is a localized institution, country, if it has a national status, constituent state, country, district, taluk, and so on. If it is a state, country, district, taluk level institution. Headquarters, if any of the geographical province cannot be identified, the place of the headquarters can be entered as individualizing element. For examples, Great Western Railway, Great Britain, National Research Council, Canada, National Research Council, Japan, General Post Office, Bombay as an individualizing element, General Post Office, Calcutta as an individualizing element, State Bank of India, Madras, City Branch, City may be as another one individualizing element to distinguish the documents published by the particular institution or organization in the same name which is established in various localities and various places. Year of foundation according to the rule JD21 of CCC also can be considered as individualizing element. Year of foundation of the institution to be used as second individualizing element if the name of the institution does not completely resolve the homonym. Example, Cincinnati Medical Society 1819, Cincinnati Medical Society 1837. Here the year of the establishment of the institution act as an individualizing element. This is the second individualizing element in addition to the place. Organ of an institution. Organ of an institution is to be made analogy of organ of government publication mentioned in the rule JC2 to JC8. How the government and its subordinate organs, their publications are rendered, the same order also can be followed here when rendering the organs, divisions, departments of autonomous institution. Accordingly, the individualizing element, Ministry of, Department of are to be rendered along with the whole institution, followed by the division or part of institution with the connecting symbol, comma, and only the subject or name of the area which is the department or the division of whole department used to emphasize. For example, Botanical Society of India to be rendered as botanical, it should be in caps, and Society of India as individualizing element in a circular bracket, as it is to be entered for the ministries, directorates and departments. The National Council of Applied Economics has to be rendered as economic in caps, and the National Council of Applied Research to be entered in the circular bracket as an individualizing element, and India also as a geographical individualizing element can be entered in circular bracket as second individualizing element. Hence, organs of institutions to be rendered following the publications of government and its subordinate bodies, administrative departments and the temporary organs of the government. As like the temporary organ of the government, if the conference has committee or chairman, it should be rendered as an individualizing element. In the heading and other entries, one more class index entry can be prepared accordingly. The related institutions, when it is found in the title page or the verse of the title page of the document, heading to be rendered whether the name of the institution as a parent body or the institution has its unique stand with its distinctive name, such as universities, bank, guild, college, church, botanical garden, hospital, as described in chapter GD8, synopsis of Cataloguing Convention. When the institution has its own stand and significant name, no need of putting the parent organization. In nutshell, it is to be determined either with parent body or as individual autonomous body with its distinctive names and the contribution, the extent of contribution towards the document. Accordingly, the entries for various institutions' publications has to be derived. Now, you will see the title as exercise has given for us. Botanical Society of India, Classification and Description of Plants Found in India, edited by Dr. Amit Chandra, New Delhi. The Society is the publication 1991, the year of the publication. Other information, call number I, colon 11.44. N91 is book number, and preliminary pages 4, 431, textual pages 96411. Accession number, the size of the document is 23 centimeter. The rendering of the heading according to CCC following the rule JD1 and JD17 and its subdivisions. Here you can find the leading section, the class number and book number entered, starts from the first vertical, class number I colon 11.44. After 2 type spaces, N91 book number is rendered. The next is heading. The heading, as the rule says, the Botanical Society of India to be rendered as botanical, the area, the subject in caps, and the Society of India as individual single element, the second element in circular brackets. The title is Classification and Description of Plants Found in India, followed by the collaborator edited ED by Ramesh Chandra, and as a routine practice, the accession number is entered in the bottommost line, starts from the first vertical as 96411. Let us see the tracings of the main entry. Here, class index entry prepared for the class number India, nomenclature botany, nomenclature botany, botany. And the next one is for the book index entry according to the heading Botanical Society of India, and one more entry for the collaborator Ramesh Chandra ED, and one cross reference index entry, alternate name cross reference index entry also prepared below the book index entries. Accordingly, class index entry, here you can find India, nomenclature, botany in caps. It is entered in the leading section and starts from the first vertical. And the second description is for documents in this class and its subdivision. See the classified part of the catalog under the class number. End of the directing statement for documents, the respective class number I colon 11.44 is entered. Here in this directing statement, 7 letters to be capitalized for F, documents in this class C and its subdivisions S. See the classified part C and P of the catalog under the class number, in which C and N should be capitalized. And class index entry, the next nomenclature and botany. Again the directing statement, third description is the respective class number I colon 11. One more class index entry for the main class botany for documents in this class and its subdivisions, directing statement, and class number I. Next is author book index entry for the heading Botanical Society of India in leading section, and the heading section, the title Classification Description of Plants Found in India. The third description is the call number of the document. There is I colon 11.44 N91 entered, end of the title. The next is collaborator book index entry. Editor was there, Ramesh Chandra, ED. Botanical Society of India, the heading, particularly for the corporate bodies, the heading also has to be described in the title section along with the title. Then classification and description of plants found in India is the title, and the third description is the call number of the document. Alternative cross-reference index entry for the term classification, it is derived according to the canon emphasized by Dr. S.R. Ranganathan. So the alternative cross-reference index entry for classification C, nomenclature. Both should be in capital letters. Classification, the directing word C, it should be underlined, and the reference nomenclature. So next we are going to derive the entries according to AACR-2. AACR-2 revised edition, it describes the rulings for rendering of the entries for the publications of institutions and its organs in the chapter 2.4, that gives a general rule as like it is giving for other corporate bodies. In this chapter, under the subdivision 24.4 additions, the subdivision 24.4C5 is dealt with the rulings for description of heading for the institution. The rendering of the name directly entered, the name by which institution is commonly identified. If the institution has a character that it's national, state or province, the name of the state or country or province to be added as individual element according to the rule 24.4 to C. The rule 24.2 of AACR-2 use the name of the institution as it appeared in the chief source of information, particularly for appearance of variant forms and names of the alternate names of the titles. The AACR-2 also describes rendering of the heading and its subordinate and related bodies and direct or indirect subheadings according to rule 24.14. Accordingly, enter a subordinate and relevant body directly under its own names followed by the parent body as like the corporate organizations. In AACR-2, the rule 24.14 also describes the division or parts of the institutions, organizations to be entered in hierarchical manner. For example, American Library Association, Public Library Association, Audio Video Committee. Here, American Library Association is the parent body, next Public Library Association, and the next division is Audio Video Committee. Hence, the name of the institution to be rendered as heading according to the rules so far what we have narrated. Let us see how the main entry is prepared for the same exercise. Here, the rendering of heading according to rule 24.1 and as per the general description rule 1.4d4, the imprint area in place of full name of publisher only the word society has been given. Hence, it is the part of that heading. As usual, you can find here address of the book, that is class number and book number and accessor number entered above the reading line. 1I:11.44, N91 is book number, and exactly below the accessor number 96411, just entered where the description is over before the first vertical. The heading is for this title is Botanical Society of India in running letters and starts from the first vertical of the leading line. Next is description. First paragraph is title, statement of responsibility, edition and imprint statement. Here the title is classification and description of plants found in India / Botanical Society of India, author semicolon the collaborator, edited by Ramesh Chandra, then full stop space dash space, place of publication New Delhi, comma colon the society, the publisher, comma 1991 year for the year of publication. Next paragraph is physical description, 4 preliminary pages, comma 431p textual pages, semicolon 23 centimeter. Tracings, 1 subject heading indicated by using the Indo-Arabic numeral, and 2 other entries you mentioned by the Roman numerals. Ramesh Chandra for the collaborator and 1 for the title. You can find the subject entry as a routine practice. Subject entry should be written in caps and above the choice of access point starts from the second vertical and the remaining as same in the main entry. The same way collaborator entry also prepared, but it should be entered in ordinal letters. Ramesh Chandra, the name of the collaborator, the rest as in main entry. Title entry, classification description of plants found in India. The continuation overflowing information can be start from the third imaginary intention, and it also has to be rendered above choice of access point as like other added entries, and the rest as in main entry. So now we have derived cataloging entries for the given title according to CCC and AACR-2. The next title, one more for the institution. You can find the title here, Review of Indian Iron Industry, National Council of Applied Economic Research New Delhi is the place of publication. The manager of publications, August 1990 is the time of publication. Other information, call number X8, subject device F182.44 N90, access number 17755, pages 204, size 21 centimeter. The rendering of the heading as per CCC rule JD1, JD17 and its subdivisions. As per rule JD2, individualizing element has been used. So rule JD2, according to CCC, talks about the individualizing element can be used to differentiate the homonym headings. Here you can find the main entry. The reading section consists of class number and book number. It starts with first vertical, 2 type space between class number and book number. The next is the heading, as already mentioned, economic, the subject in caps, and the remaining part of the council name, National Council of Applied Research, as an individualizing element. The next individualizing element is India, according to the rule JD2. Review of Indian Iron Industry is the title, and the accession number, as usual, bottommost line of the cataloging card starts from the first vertical. Tracing you can find here for class number, India Iron Industry, Industry, Economics, and there is one more book index entry. We will see all the 4 class index entries: India, Iron, Industry, and the directing statement, the second paragraph, for documents in this class and its subdivision, see the class with part of the catalog under the class number. Then the class number, respective class number, end of the directing statement. Next entry is Iron Industry, again directing statement for documents in this class and its subdivision. The remaining part of the class number X8, subject device F182 within bracket, and class index entry 3 for the remaining class number X8, Industry, Economics, for documents in this class and its subdivision, see the class with part, directing statement, and the respective class number X8. The last one is for the main class, Economics, for documents in this class and the class number X. Author book index entry, here the same information what we have given in the heading to be entered in the leading section. Accordingly it has been given. Economics in caps and individualizing element, National Council of Applied Research. Then India has one more individualizing element, title. Then third description is the call number of the document. The same we are going to prepare entries for AACR-2. The heading has been entered as per the rule 24.2 of AACR-2. As per the rule 24.4 C2, individualizing element has been ordered. You can find National Council of Applied Economic Research as heading choice of access point, India, and address given as X8 F182.44 class number N90 book number, and the access number is 17755 below the book number where the physical description starts. And review of Indian Iron Industry is the title, description area, slash, the diagonal slash, the National Council of Applied Economic Research, full stop space, the space, New Delhi, manager of publications is the publisher, should be rendered by the current symbol colon, year of publication, comma 1990. Then the physical description, 204 pages, there is no primary pages, dimension 21 centimeter after entering the current symbol, semicolon. 2 added entries, one is for subject added entry, Iron Industry India, the other is for title, that is mentioned in the tracings. And subject entry, as usual, it should be in caps above the choice of access point, Iron Industry India. It starts from the second vertical, accordingly it is entered, remaining as same in main entry. A title entry, review of Indian Iron Industry, it is in running letters, and the title is entered above the choice of access point, same as in main entry. The next title is more than 3 joint institution with 2 collaborators. Here you can find the title, Anglo-American Cataloging Rules second edition, prepared by American Library Association, British Library, Canadian Committee on Cataloging, the Library Association, the Library of Congress, and edited by Michael Gorman and Paul W. Winkler. American Library Association Chicago, Canadian Library Association Ottawa, 1978. The year of publication. Other information, here you can find class number for both CC and DDC. For CC 2.55 N78, for DDC 0.25.32, and the book number is QN78. For DDC, the book number is AME. 18 preliminary pages, 620 textual pages, and the ISBN number for paperback 08389-311-8. For the bound volume 08389-3210-10. The Indo-Arab Roman numeral. Access number is CCC669, size 27 centimeter. Here the heading prepared according to the rule MD33 that talks about authors more than 3 or more than 3 authors. The first class index entry has been prepared from the book number as per rule KF25. The rule KF25 warrant one additional entry to be given for the catalog if it is printed in book form and also bibliography like other documents. Here one entry we have given for the Anglo-American cataloging rules code, as separately emphasizing as code. Let us see the main entry. The class number and book number entered in the leading section. 2.55 N78, QN78 is the book number, and the next is heading Library American Association. Here more than 2 authors or 3 and more authors. Only the first author has to be given rendering, and the remaining authors can be omitted by adding the word etc. or and others. Accordingly, the first corporate author, American Library Association, that institution, it has been taken into account, and the entry is made Library American Association individual element, and the word and others used, etc. also can be used. Then title Anglo-American Cataloging Rules. Then edition statement, it should be entered with a full stop, ED2, and then editor of that document, ED by Michael Gorman and Paul W. Winkler. The access number CCC39 is given accordingly. Tracings. You can find here a class index entry exclusively prepared for the AACR-2 code as code, Anglo-American Cataloging Rules. Then the next is Anglo-American Cataloging Rules, Cataloging Library Science, Technically Driven Library Science, and Library Science. Class index entry is prepared. The next is for the book index entry, that is for the author, library, American Association, and others. Then for the collaborated book index entry, Gorman, Michael, and Winkler, Paul W. Here permutation is given for the 2 editors or 2 others. Whenever it is rendered according to CCC, for 2 others or 2 editors, 2 collaborators, the permutation has to be given. Accordingly it is given. And the class index entry for the code, Anglo-American Cataloging code, given according to the rule KF25 of Classified Catalog Code. Here you can find code, Anglo-American Cataloging Rules, then directing statement, then the class number 2:55N78 Q. Class index entry next is Anglo-American Cataloging Rules. For documents, the directing statement and the respective class number 2:55N78. Then class index entry 3, Cataloging Library Science. For documents in this class under subdivision, see the class part of the catalog under the class number, the respective class number 2:55. Then the other class number is technical treatment library science for documents in this class and its subdivisions. Then the respective class number 2:5. A class index entry for library science, the main class, directing statement for documents and its subdivisions, and the direct class number 2 is rendered. Author book index entry for the first author with the description etc and others. Accordingly, it has been given library / American Association and others. Then title is Anglo-American Cataloging Rules ED2. Then the call number. The same way, collaborative book index entry also. Gorman, Michael and Winkler, Paul W. ED. And the title Library, American Association and others, Anglo-American Cataloging Rules ED2, and the call number is rendered here, just below the title. The same way, collaborator book index entry based on the permutation. Winkler, Paul W. and Foreman, Michael ED. Library, American Association and others, Anglo-American Cataloging Rules ED2. The call number of the document has to be entered. In the same exercise, now we are going to derive entry according to main entry, according to AACR-2R. As per AACR-2R, Rule 21.6 C, books more than 3 authors and principal authors not indicated. For the cases where the principal author is not there and it is written by more than 3 others, the main entry should be followed hanging intention. It should start from the first vertical of the reading section, and the overflow information should be from the hanging intention and up to the physical, up to the imprint statement. The description as well as the heading continuously used to come. Accordingly, there are 5 organizations prepared the Anglo-American Cataloging Rules, and all the organizations having their stake. Hence here more than 3, so all the corporate bodies as authors statement of responsibilities are neglected, and only the first one, Anglo-American Cataloging, American Library Association, is taken care. So here the hanging intention, we need to give the access for the title. When there is 3 authors, more than 3 authors, and there is no mentioning of author, the title should be rendered as heading. Accordingly, the title is rendered as heading and the hanging intention followed. Anglo-American Cataloging Rules / prepared by the American Library Association et al. A word has to be mentioned after the first author to denote that remaining authors or more authors, they were not given entry. So Anglo-American Cataloging Rules, the title / prepared by the American Library Association et al. In square bracket, edited by Michael Gorman and Paul W. Winkler, full stop space dash space, second edition, second ED, full stop space dash space, Chicago, comma, colon ALA, the publisher, and year of publication 1978. The preliminary pages are 18, 17, that is mentioned accordingly in small Roman numerals, comma, followed by the textual pages 620p, semicolon 27 centimeter. The ISBN number, paperback ISBN number. It depends on the availability of the book in the library. We can mention the paperback ISBN number or the bound volume ISBN number. Then the other entries prepared, one for cataloging and other order entry for the American Library Association, and another 2 order entries for the collaborators, the editors, Michael Gorman and Paul W. Winkler. Accordingly, the entries have to be prepared. The next is subject entry. As usual, it has to be entered above the choice access point, cataloging, the subject heading in capital letters after the second vertical. Accordingly, it is entered, the rest as in main entry. Author entry American Library Association, the author, corporate author, it is entered as like any other entry and remaining as same in main entry. Collaborator entry, Gorman, Michael. By differentiating entry element, second element, Michael Gorman is rendered as Gorman, Michael. Then the title and remaining as in main entry. The collaborator entry for the second collaborator, Winkler, Paul W, and the remaining as main entry. So accordingly, two collaborator book index entries are prepared for this particular document. Author book index entry, here one for the name of the chairman, Kanwar committee. It is rendered in caps. The next is title section, report, along with the entire call number of the document. The same exercise now we are going to render according to AACR-2R. Here the heading is rendered as per rule 24.2 and the ruling 24.14 for the variant names of the institution. One added entry under the name of the chairman has to be prepared. You can find the address B9.2 N57T, the class number, above the leading line and before the first vertical, below exactly the book number N58 and the access number 5218 entered where the physical description starts. And the choice of access point for the Council of Scientific and Industrial Research, Indigenous Element, India. Then the Astronomical Committee, the division of that institution is also entered by underline by with the Canadian symbol full stop. The next is title, report of the Astronomical Committee, full stop space the space, New Delhi, colon, publication bureau, the place of the publication, and CSIR is also part of that publication, 1958 is the year of the publication. 9 preliminary pages rendered as a physical description, separate paragraph starts from the second vertical, and 210 textual pages followed by the dimension 25 centimeter with the kinetic symbol semicolon. The note section, the name of the chairman has to be entered as chairman colon actual name G.S. Kanwar. Then tracings, 2 entries, one is for subject added entry, astronomy according to Library of Congress subject headings. The other is for author added entry for the chairman of the conference. Subject entry you can find here, it should be in caps above the choice of point. Accordingly it is entered, starts from the second vertical and remaining as same as in main entry. The same way for the chairman of the committee, Kanwar, GS as entry element and second element, and the rest as in main entry. Now we are going to derive catalog entries for the joint committees. Is also organ of the institution, but with the 2 series. The title is Joint FAO WHO Expert Committee on African Trypanosomiasis. African Trypanosomiasia, a report. Technical report series, World Health Organization number 434, Geneva, World Health Organization 1969. Other information you can find here, call number for both CC and DDC, L:426 and for DDC 614.533. The book number is N69, 79 pages, accession number 52291, size is 23.8 centimeter. There is another series, Agricultural Studies, Food and Agriculture Organization number 81. So here we need to follow the description of series when we are rendering the publication of this institution. The heading has been rendered as an analogy of CCC rule JC8. The multiple series has been recorded in separate section of main entry. The rule M-12 for the multiple series and rule M-121 for the multiple series editors. How the multiple series can be entered. So the rendering of the institution as like any government organs, subordinate organs, the heading section consists of class number and book number as usual, L:4 to 6. After 2 type space, the book number N69. The leading section. The heading section consists of the heading Food and Agriculture Organization and Health, then Individual Element World Organization, African Trypanosomiasis is the expert committee, so corporate author. Here the institutional organ and the committee also has to be rendered as a heading. Accordingly, the Food and Agricultural Organizations, World Health Organization and its committee African Trypanosomiasis is entered with the individualizing element of that respective designation of that committees or the organization. Then the title entered below the heading African Trypanosomiasia : a report is subtitle. Series to be entered as a separate paragraph, and according to the rule number MF12, 2 separate series to be entered as a separate entries in 2 circular brackets. Accordingly, it is entered. It should be the entered with the name of the series and the series number to be entered after the full stop, the canonic symbol. If there is a series editor also can be entered out of the series. There is no series editor, hence only the name of the series and the number of the series is entered. And finally, the accession number 52291 is entered. Tracings you can find protozoa, infection disease, disease, medicine as class index entries. Then book index entry according to the heading what we are given. And World Health Organization technical report series for the series book index entry, and Food and Agriculture Organization agriculture studies for the series book index entry. So class index entry as usual it is rendered protozoa, infection disease in caps, and in leading section of the class index entry the second description is directing statement for documents in this class and its subdivision. See the classified part of the catalog under the class number. Then the respective class number L:4 to 6. Accordingly, the next class index entry infection disease directing statement L:4 to the respective class number. The next class index entry disease medicine for documents directing statement L:4. The final main class heading medicine directing statement with the class number L. Author book index entry, the same information it is rendered in the heading section of the main entry Food and Agricultural. It is in caps entered here. Organization and Health World Organization, African Trypanosomiasia Joint Expert Committee on as an individual element. Then title and the call number of the document as third description of the author book index entry. Series book index entry. Series has to be entered in caps, and the continuation overflow information can be started from the first vertical again. It is to be entered in the leading section, and the number of the series can be entered below the first and second vertical, in between the first and second vertical, and below the series accordingly 434, and afterwards the title and edition statement has to be entered. Accordingly, Food and Agriculture Organization and Health Organization, African Trypanosomiasis Joint Committee on, as usual any corporate the government publications before the title it has to be entered. Accordingly, it is entered. Then colon African Trypanosomiasis is the title and the call number of the book. The same way, the second series book index entry for the second series Food and Agriculture Organization Agricultural Studies is entered in caps, and below the number between first and second vertical 81 is entered, and the remaining are same in the first series book index entry. The same title we are entering here according to AACR2, the rule number 24.15A and rule number 21.1B2C is directing the entry to be entered, and according to the rule point 16J, more than one series statement is entered here. So you can find here the address of the book, class number 614.533 and N69, the book number is entered above the leading line and before the first vertical, exactly below the book number, and the description where it starts, the access number 5229 is entered. The choice of access point, joint FAO WHO expert committee on African trypanosomiasis, that is entered as like any other corporate body. Then the title, the subtitle, a report / again the author, expert committee on African trypanosomiasis. Then the brief statement, full stop, space dash space, Geneva, the publisher who, 1969, the year of the publication. The physical description, 79 pages, 79p, semicolon 24 cm. Series to be entered after physical description. The kinetic symbol, full stop, space dash. It should be entered in circular bracket. After the series number to be entered with the abbreviation of number NO, followed by the kinetic symbol semicolon. Accordingly, technical report series and the series author / World Health Organization, semicolon number 434 is entered. Then according to the rule number 1.6J, more than two statement of the series to be entered in the separate circular brackets after the physical description. Accordingly, the second series, agricultural studies, and the statement responsibility of the series, according to the rule 1.6E, entered as Food and Agriculture Organization, semicolon, economic symbol number 81. Then tracings, 1 subject headings for the trypanosomiasis and 1 entry for title, 2 more entries for series as tracings is prepared. It has to be order entries to be prepared accordingly. You can find the subject order entry. It is in caps as usual, and the trypanosomiasis remaining as in main entry. The same way, the title, African trypanosomiasis, in running letters above the choice of access point, rest as in main entry, and series entry, the series along with the authority of the series, statement of responsibility of the series, and the semicolon number 434, the series number. It is entered above the choice of access point. The same way, the second series also entered, agriculture studies / Food and Agriculture Organization, statement of responsibility, semicolon number 81, and the remaining as in main entry. So in this way, we have prepared cataloging entries for the various publications of institutions according to the CCC and according to AACR-2. And both, though the institutions are identified of its own stand with the direct name and the description rules, the rendering of headings, both AACR-2 and CCC instructed the librarian to follow the rules pertinent to government and its organizations. So we have classified, we have catalogued more than 6 types of publications, 7 titles for various publications, how the institutional publications can be entered. Thank you.